Hi, it's Holger Mueller here from Constellation Research, sharing my usual event report of large conferences like Sapphire and OpenWorld, potentially Microsoft Build, about my top 3 takeaways of the conference, and my top, not 2 takeaways, but the top 3 positive things I saw at the conference, and the top 3 things which raise some concern for customers when looking at the product and service of the vendor. So OpenWorld was the usual mega event, as it always happens in San Francisco. Howard Street was blocked again. Moscone was under construction. That limited space potential. It was all over town as usual. Java 1, all separate, different location. First time I had to take a hike for the Oracle application experience, which wasn't at the Intercontinental. But it's all good to always work around, get out. It was nice weather in San Francisco. My feeling was that the attendance was slightly smaller than previous years, but I haven't gotten any official numbers yet from Oracle, so not sure. Still significant partner draw. Pretty much everybody who is in IT was there, including competitors. So good to see that the ecosystem is thriving. As you might know, I always describe the profile of the vendor floor as a Matterhorn. When the vendor's in the middle, everything goes up high. Height, lots of marketing spent for height at any conference, or it's an Ayers Rock if everybody's spending kind of like, it looks like an Ayers Rock down in Australia. So it was an Ayers Rock conference format, sorry, show floor format, which shows lots of spend by partners happening on the show floor and around this, and with that high expectations. The format was also changed, like no sessions on Thursday. Was cut down to 3.5 days. I think it's always good to be shorter. Everybody appreciated that the concert was moved from traditionally the Buena Island over to AT&T Park, so no long lines to get on the buses. But not enough talk. As I spoke about the top 3 positives. Definitely can't escape that the autonomous database announced by Larry on Sunday, then combined with Oracle Management and Security Cloud announced on Tuesday are the key things which got stick out and hammered into attendees' heads. Very good move forward, no question about that. Making things more reliable by running themselves, running them in software. Software infrastructure is something common as a best practice across vendors. Interesting enough, Oracle, being the leader in RDBMS in general, is the first to announce such a sophisticated scope for the RDBMS system side. So good to see for customers. The rollout is staggered, is wide ahead. Early 2018 for data warehouse loads. Transaction loads will be coming later. Didn't have a chance to understand and see the difference why certain loads will not be coming sooner, why certain loads are coming later, what type of loads will be coming later. We'll figure out over time. But definitely a good start with the idea, with the vision where that's going. The other part which I was really impressed was later than Thomas Curran's keynote on Tuesdays. He at least expressed from any executive on stage publicly in the keynote probably the most thorough, best understanding how machine learning AI is changing it. He owns all of Oracle products. He's infusing that across all of them, and what it means for applications in terms of the UI is changing, parameterization is changing, decision making is changing. So very good to see that for Oracle customers, that there's a high understanding of that on the Oracle side. And then, of course, significant things happening on IS Generation 2. Lots of innovation there, faster compute, faster networking. The DIN is now part of the Oracle Cloud and IaaS level, so probably the most scalable. Oracle claims never shy, the most scalable DNS service. Interesting things on the PaaS layer, all the way to partners announcing pieces like Microsoft announcing partnership with Java for serverless functions. Many other interesting things on the PaaS layer, like a blockchain service, like a data science service. Probably forgetting a couple of few interesting ones. Lots, like always, that Oracle OpenWorld, lots of new information. And on the SaaS layer, Steve Miranda's presentation, the key takeaway is that Oracle now truly feels everybody should look at Oracle's cloud SaaS-based applications, not just in certain industries, certain scenarios, but all across the board, because guess what? Finally, manufacturing is ready. And then we come to the part which also was probably the most prominent, and is also the oldest and most mature part of the Oracle Cloud Suite, that is HCM. HCM always had this kind of like difficult situation that with the acquisition of Taleo, the single suite platform message wouldn't really gel. Well, since 2 years, I noticed that in some blog posts, I was able to blog that before. Oracle is now unveiled Oracle Recruiting Cloud to replace Taleo replacements, not identically, that's good to see, no need to reprogram and rebuild things the same way, but build them in a better way. It's 21st century, infusing more AI, but not that's enough, just recruiting being a significant step. Some GRC, governance, risk, compliance principles coming to HCM, that's a good suite level leverage, using the same term, very highly important for HCM, for the compliance lead. An employee health and safety capability, which of course is a high country context, is coming. And my volunteering, always good to see Oracle is doing lots of things in these fringe around but beneficial things like competitions and health related pieces. So it's good to see that there's a new capability on that. That's kind of like rounds it out on the positive side. Let's quickly switch over to the concerns. There's much more to secure than just the database in the old Oracle technology stack. Larry didn't talk too much about this. Obviously makes sense to start in the database because the goodies, the important thing that guys want to take are in the database. But there's more things on the application layer, on the IaaS layer, on human engineered, socially engineered passwords and so on, which Oracle didn't speak too much about yet. So, but what hasn't happened can still come. The interesting thing, the fascinating thing to me overall enterprise software is that for the first time, the two leading vendors, which is Oracle and SAP, are totally off cycle. Usually in the past, technology advances going from mainframe to medium data range to client server to internet architecture to cloud architecture. Some vendors would be earlier, 2-3 years, some vendors later by 2-3 years. Now for the first time, we're in exactly 10-year difference in terms of the launch of the initiatives and probably also delivery of a mature solution on these initiatives. As Oracle announced Fusion, as it was called back then in 2004, SAP announced S4HANA in January or February 2014. So for the first time, there's a 10-year gap, and it's going to be really interesting what it means for best practice companies, which was always, well, don't worry, my vendor, if they're big enough, have enough customers in the platform, they're going to make it across the technology break, which now obviously is the utilization of big data, the move to public cloud, the use of machine learning and artificial intelligence. But now it's a 10-year gap between the two. So it's going to be interesting what it means for best practices of potentially switching ERP vendors. We'll see that. But the overall question for Oracle to make that is, can Oracle attract the load? Right, so no surprise, Oracle has been bashing hardly on Amazon, because when somebody says, okay, I think we're ready now to move our Oracle database, something which has not happened at scale, is very important to understand, has not happened at scale to the cloud, anybody else on the board will say, okay, clearly Oracle has an offering, but why don't we go to market leader Amazon and try it out there? So this is why all the talk where Oracle thinks, we'll have to see later how Amazon responds, that they have done something better, cheaper, easier to run than what Amazon is doing there. So the question is, can Oracle attract the load? It must attract the load for its build out. It spent over $2 billion on CapEx. Of course, not everything goes in cloud, but I think a large amount of that goes in cloud, and the increase of that is significant. The average before was more 1.1 billion. So can Oracle get the load? And then the question is, can Oracle become more gentle, more of a service provider, less of a rumble tumble, half of the customer to deal vendor, which is probably the biggest challenge at this point, as the products have come largely along and have been able to be used. And yes, if your products are significantly better, companies will also buy from somebody who they don't like that much or don't feel treated right, which is often the case, unfortunately, for a customer having Oracle as their supplier. So it remains to be seen if Oracle can change that. At the end of the day, it's easy. It just means up, in most cases, unfortunately, giving up some margin points. My POV overall, this is going way too long. Big show at OpenWorld as usual. Good move by Oracle on the autonomous DB. Everybody else on their competition has kind of like been sleeping at the wheel, for they could have been doing the same. I think Oracle having to manage Oracle systems at the customer with their clouded customer offering, which is pretty successful and pretty popular, was a wake-up call for Oracle saying, I don't want to keep hiring DBAs, I have to automate this more, and automation for software is really the future and the direction we have to go. SaaS parity to the old products. Steve Miranda very comfortable, Thomas Curran very comfortable that now is the time to move to the SaaS application is a major milestone. We have to see and validate that in detail going forward. And Oracle just needs to learn to be nice. So relatively few things to concern on the concern side. That's it from my side. Look for my colleagues who have covered OpenWorld too. Cindy Zhu was there. Follow her at Cindy_Zhu. That's ZHOU, covering sales and marketing. Colleague Doug Henschen at D Henschen on Twitter was there from a data to decisions perspective. Ray was there at R10, covering kind of like everything. And then, of course, me, the analyst who keeps all his notes on Twitter so they can be consumed by everybody, which means lots of tweets, but lots of speed, lots of transparency. Thanks for watching. You follow me, of course, at Holger Mu, HOLGERMU. If you like this video, subscribe on YouTube. Usually every event from my side has a video. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.